How many of you out there are like me? Now, I'm a bit of a political animal. I love politics, especially American politics. I find English politics at the moment, find our politicians a bit dull, grey and feeble, and I like the passion and the characters in American politics, so I'll follow it. But that means that when I watch things on YouTube, if I listen to things on the radio, I do get a bit passionate, not worked up as much as kind of like that, like most of us do when politics are mentioned and politics are discussed and politics are debated. Now, even though I advocate for a slow and a simple life, that doesn't mean that I can't be interested in other things. I can't be interested in things that can get you passionate, can put you into conflict with other people. Things like that are in your DNA. They're in my DNA. My dad was a very passionate political animal. He could debate it a lot better than I could because he was a great and a very clever man. But I do debate politics a lot and current affairs. I keep up with current affairs. I kind of soak things in like osmosis. When things happen in the world, I tend to have opinions and I tend to soak it in so much that I can actually debate a lot of things with a lot of people, which kind of gets me, not in trouble, it just gets some people a bit fed up of me sometimes, I think, but luckily my friends and my family understand. They just ignore me and pat me on the head and send me into the kitchen for another beer. But I was listening to something this morning. I was listening to discussions on YouTube this morning and reading the news. More shootings, more conflict. And you feel it, don't you? You actually feel it. You feel it inside you. If you stay at home, or if you stay at home and continue to have this all media and social media and mainstream media bombarding you 12 hours a day, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your mood, isn't it? I mean, you've got to admit that it's going to bring you down. Or at least if it doesn't bring you down, it's going to get your mind racing, get your heart racing, forming opinions. It's difficult to ignore it. Some people can. I'm afraid I can't, but like I say, that's in my DNA. We're all different. But, and this is the big thing that I talk about all the time, I've come away from the social media, I've come away from the television, I've come away from the radio, I've come into nature, I've come outside, I've not gone far, 3 minutes drive in the car, and we're here. Skylarks, all I can hear is skylarks. I'm looking out and I can see a line of trees, and then beyond that, in the mist, I can see some low hills between me and Liverpool, and it's misty and the clouds are low and the temperature's lifting a little bit. It was raining earlier on, but now the temperature's lifted and I can see this. I don't know whether you can see this. I love this. The sun is coming across and now it's on us. Woof! Just like that. As the clouds move, you can see the sun. You can see the sun coming across at you. And the woof, we're into it as the sun comes through the clouds. I remember once when I was about 17 and I worked in the forestry and I was in a Land Rover driving across a field. And it was raining, but it was very still. And it was raining like mad. And there was a curtain of rain coming across the field at me. And I remember getting out of the Land Rover and standing at the side of it. And I could see this like curtain, this hard curtain of rain coming towards me. Vertical, flattening the grass. And I literally waited until it was a couple of feet away from me. And I got into the Land Rover and it hit the Land Rover and I stayed perfectly dry. And I will never forget that. I talk about things in life and things that trigger you. And that's one thing I'll never forget, because it never happened again. And it was phenomenal. But we're out now, we're out in nature. Social media can't get to us unless we choose to bring it with us. We're away from the television, we're away from the angst, and we're out in the quiet and the peace of nature. I don't know whether you can hear the birds, but they are beautiful. We'll come with a line of trees just behind us. And that's where the bird song is coming from. We're surrounded, we're like in a cathedral of trees here. We're surrounded like an amphitheatre. Trees and hills over there, trees, 360 degrees of trees. 360 degrees of trees. That sounds like it could be a rock album title. But it's great. And you tend to look, don't you? As the seasons change, the landscape changes. Not the landscape, but the flowers, the flora. The buttercups are going now. The grasses are coming through. The leaves on the trees are changing colour. They've gone from that vivid, bright green to more of a darker hue. I had no intentions of recording anything this morning, but I always bring my camera out. My camera and my binoculars. Always bring them out. I've got a really, really good set of binoculars. It costs about 400 or 500 quid. They're Zeiss something or other. They're about 20 odd years old now. My mother got them when she used to travel all over Europe, but she doesn't now because she's in her 90s. And I borrowed them for a fortnight about 3 years ago. We've all got kids like that, haven't we? So I wasn't going to record anything, but it's just one of those mornings where you've got to tell people about it because there's so much happening. Look at this. The ferns have just exploded. They were like curled up. You know how they come out? You can still see some of them curled up. And all it took was a bit of rain and a bit of sun, and they've all exploded. Great banks of them. Fantastic. But it's still. And it's quite mild. It's almost warm. I've put this on my baldy head, and my baldy head's boiling. But it does. Get away from the television. Get away from social media. The difference when you come out into the countryside, in your mood, and this isn't hyperbole, it's profound. The difference is profound in your mood. I'm so glad I came out now. I feel different. It's simple. It's so simple. It's so inexpensive. Anyway, get out. Get away from social media. Get away from the bloody television, the radio, and all the bad news. It's bad news week. Someone dropped a bomb somewhere, contaminating the atmosphere and blackening the sky. It's good news week. It's cloudy. Might start raining again. I can see a break in the clouds behind me. You can just see it there. I hope that's travelling this. Oh, it's not. It's coming over from the west, but there are clearer skies behind it. But I don't mind. This is a proper nice day, this is. It's got everything. It's mild. It's almost warm. There's hardly any breeze. The landscape is green. The clouds are scudding across, giving us some interest. It's quiet. There's hardly anyone about. I can see a low hill behind me, and the cloud's so low, it's going through the tops of the trees like a mist. It's got everything you need. Anyway, like I say, I wasn't going to record anything. And then I just thought, I'd record something. Because I just wanted to share it. And apart from sharing it, it's a record for me as well. Win-win, people, win-win. Here comes Molly. She's loving it. Anyway, hope you all have a great day. We shall see you upon the flip. Peace and love.